Stepped on the scene, dripped in saline. Whole crew shining, call me Mr. Clean. Came in from the back, walked right to the front. Dancing to the music, smoking on the. Got the women smiling, punk grilling me, looking all dusty. Black Force energy, I don't even drink, but the team pop bottles. Not here for the beef, but the Glock holds hollows. Think I'm cocky, but I think I'm worse. In this flexing like a Mr. Universe.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Terence Crawford promises that Spence will not be able to walk through him. Throughout the promotion, Spence has had one reoccurring theme, and that is he is going to break Terence Crawford. He's been telling anyone who would listen it's going to be a one-sided ass whooping, and he's been stating that he is going to break Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford was on the Porterway podcast, and they spoke to TC about Spence's game plan and his talks about breaking him. And here's what Terence Crawford had to say.
There's nothing he's going to be able to do to me that I haven't seen before. I've seen somebody come strong and bang the body or a puncher or, use your jab. I didn't face them all. I've been boxing since.
All right. TC's my mans and all, but we got to keep it even around here and pause TC on what he just said. Let's go back and listen.
A puncher or a punch strong and bang the body or a puncher or, or I've seen somebody come strong and bang the body or a puncher or, use your jab. I didn't face them all. And I've been boxing since I was 7. So it's all about capitalizing on the little things. And that's what's going to lead me to the victory come fight night. I didn't face people that try to set the pace at a high level. I then came across people that just come gun blazing, but at the same time, there's a risk in doing that. So a lot of people, they don't understand the fact that, yeah, you can come guns blazing, you can come, at a high pace, but you're going to catch something as well. And if you catch something that you don't feel that you can take on a consistent basis, then you're going to retreat and you're going to go to something different. So a lot of people, they just banking on Arrow just walking me down and just walking through my shots and so be it. But I can assure you that that's not going to be the case come fight night.
So that's what TC had to say about Spence walking through him and breaking him down. G, what's your reaction?
I mean, I would love to believe it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you can't tell with these two gentlemen. Like, I'm trying to think of a person that TC has fought in the past that has the size and the strength of Spence. So I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. And the more and more, like, I'm looking at this stuff, the more and more I'm hearing people's interviews, all of this stuff, I'm leaning more towards Spence now, man. Like, so I don't know, because it makes me wonder, like, could TC take Spence's just his will in that ring? Like, what happens when Spence just starts throwing bombs on him? How will he respond? Like, I don't know. So it's just like this is a new terrain for TC, like, but TC is also, I'm not gonna say TC is completely like a new element for Spence, because I kind of feel like Spence has fought he's fought guys with similar attributes that TC possesses. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's one of the, at this point, man, it's just who you favor, bro. It's all opinions, man. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. I think Spence is gonna stop TC. At first I was like, if whoever's gonna win, it'll be by decision. now I'm thinking, Spence is actually taking this real serious, man. Like, and I'm even factoring in Texas, the heat wave. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like that's going to give him a added advantage. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's still unknown for me right now, but I'm leaning towards Spence is going to do some damage to my man TC. I'm just curious to see how if TC can weather the storm, from volume attacks from Spence. Because like I remember what Spence did to Garcia, and even though Garcia was a smaller guy, I was like, nah, there's no way, because Garcia's hooks was serious back then, and he made it look too easy. I remember with Mikey Garcia, I was talking about Danny Garcia just now. With Mikey Garcia, although again another smaller guy, but he was extremely athletic. At 135. I mean, 135 and stuff like that. So I'm like, I don't know, man. Like I done seen him Spence fight so many different styles, and he always came on top. Kell Brook, at the time, Kell Brook was a monster, and he was talented. Like I thought at that time, Kell Brook was the best welterweight.
He was really special K back then.
Yeah, and Spence treated him like cereal, bro. Ate him like a soup. So I don't know. I know TC's a dog. I know he got the will to win. But what happens when he faces another dog? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. So somebody gonna get broken. You know what I mean? And if both gentlemen make it to all 12 rounds, salute to both of them, man. Both of those guys are champions regardless. But I don't know. I think Spence is gonna finally do it to him. I think Spence is gonna end this dude.
Yeah, I think this has been the intrigue all along. Can Spence break Terence Crawford, or does Terence Crawford have the skills to prevent Spence from dominating and using his physical advantages? And I think that's what this whole fight is about. Those who like TC, they see his skill, they see his ability, and they think that Spence isn't going to be able to impose his will on Terence because Terence is too skilled. Terence brought up something that is key. He said, for those guys who come and try to impose their will on you, you have to hit them back with something that makes them think, oh man, I cannot take this type of punishment the entire fight. And if I keep fighting this way, I may get knocked out. You brought up a point, G. We've seen Spence do this with punchers before. We've seen Spence do this with Danny Garcia. We see Spence do this with Sean Porter, with Kell Brook. We've seen him in there with guys who have good punching power and still go forward and still apply the pressure. Your Dennis Ugas is a solid fighter. He did the same thing to him. So Spence has proven that he's going to do those things. However, TC is a different beast because TC has a skill set that separates him from Danny Garcia. I don't personally think that TC punches as hard as Danny Garcia, but I think he punches hard enough to get respect, and his footwork is better than Danny Garcia's. And so this is what makes the challenge of Terence Crawford more dangerous. Terence Crawford could also switch stances. He can fight from lefty. He can fight out of the southpaw stance. So that gives Crawford another element and wrinkle in his game where he can switch things up. And so he does have more tools to potentially keep Earl Spence off of him and keep Earl Spence from walking through him. The question is, will any of that matter? And much like the people who believe TC has the skill to do that, you have those Earl Spence fans who believe that not only is Earl Spence the bigger, stronger fighter who can break down TC, they believe his skills are just as good as Terence Crawford, in that he's talented enough to compete in a boxing match with Terence Crawford as well. Excuse me. So what ends up happening is we need to see this play out in the ring. this is a 50-50 fight, or even if it doesn't turn out to be a 50-50 fight going into the fight, it's one of those fights where you see a path to victory for both gentlemen. And the only way we're going to know how things really would play out is to actually see the fight. That's why it's a big fight. That's why the public's demanding a fight. That's why I'm glad this fight is taking place. TC promises Earl Spence won't walk through him, and we're 2 weeks away from finding out. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Remember, you can check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing Bros.